Welcome back to the Rugby Oaks. It's me, Matt,
And me, George.
and we're back for another season of Springbok Rugby. It's upon us. We've already had the first kickoff with the Barbarians, and we're building up to the real deal, the test match season with the Springboks versus Italy. George, I cannot wait to find out your thoughts about the squad, about your predictions. It's going to be mega. But first, let's just have a little chat about the Barbars match. Not an official test match, but a nice um little tester for some of the boys out there. Get the wheels working again, get back into action. And of course, Rassie had some tricks up his sleeve.
He did. We blew out the cobwebs a bit. I was a little tentative when I gave my prediction on the game. I said box by 10. How wrong was I? Box,
By 10,
box
by 10,
by,
by 10, by 10.
yeah. 10.
Well,
No, I
look,
got it very
it,
wrong.
it's tough out there for the Barbars. We looked at the Barbars team. We thought, actually, there's some good players here, but you kind of hindsight 2020, these Oaks are on the end of their careers or at the beginning of their careers. That was the kind of big divide of the Barbars team. They arrived on a Tuesday. They played on a Saturday. They drank their way through Cape Town. There was unbelievable scenes apparently throughout the
Did you
streets of
hear?
Cape Town.
I think Rassie called up Kitsy and he said, Kitsy, sort the barbars out. And then he got them ducker safe the whole week. That's it, Kitsy.
Absolutely. Well, look, those bomb squads were being absolutely downed, I'm sure. Even got a bit of wine from Trev and the boys, the uncles there at the wine farm. But look, it was an absolute blowout. What I liked about the match is the Springboks didn't get caught up in that barbars kind of game. They went out and they said, we need to practice here. This is what we need to do. We need to set out our stall and play how we want to play. And they didn't get caught up in throwing the ball around, which I mean, the conditions weren't great anyway.
No, it was a wet, rainy, slippery Cape Town. But some of the boys in the team they play for the Stormers, so they know. I mean, yeah, they had an idea of how it rolls at the DHL Stadium. But yeah, like you said, we stuck to our game. But I say it, we've tweaked it up a bit. There's some different stuff going on.
We've definitely tweaked it up. Look, there were 8 tries, so try count off the chart.
Yeah,
We gave away one scrum penalty, which we'd be pretty gutted about, I'm sure. But overall,
yeah,
the scrum was pretty dominant. The set piece was okay. Um, but unbelievable for some of the guys not to get their caps, but to get a little bit of taste of Springbok rugby.
yeah.
Vincent Struker, in particular, with a couple of meat pies, a brace there, and he's been included, as we'll find out in a minute, in the upcoming test team, which is amazing to make
Yeah.
his debut. Um, but for me, some key things to look at there was obviously Cheslin Colby's unbelievable performance. He was man of the match. He was stepping left, right, and center. Oaks didn't know what was coming at him as per usual. Best
Bounces.
player on the planet. Um, and on the other side, Curtly Arendse was great, and Afalele Fassi was fantastic as well. I thought the back three was world class. What do you think, George, about the old captain Jesse Creel took over late for Sia Kolisi, who's pulled out with an injury?
A stiff neck. Look, I think Jesse stepped up to the plate. He showed some solid leadership and he
Mm.
played a hell of a game. Probably the most cut center in world rugby. Guy is like a Adonis. But he was brilliant. He played a hell of a well. Him and Damien together, obviously they've partnered up. I think the highest or most capped center partnership in SA history. But there was something again slightly different about how they played. They didn't just bash him and crash him. There
Yeah.
was
And
offloading, chip kick throughs. Oh, it was beautiful to watch.
and often, someone who's new to captaincy might kind of shy away from their normal
Mhm.
game. They've got this expectation, they've got the weight of the world. Jesse opened up. I thought it was pretty tough on. I mean, the only person who could have got man of the match outside of Jesse Creel was Jason Colby because he was
Yeah,
unreal. Creel was absolutely fantastic. There wasn't the challenges that he's probably going to find if he
no,
was captaining this season against like a real team, or probably not even against Italy, as we're going to talk about in a minute. But
yeah,
he wasn't challenged from that side. The ref also let a couple of things go and was trying to create an exciting brand of rugby. But listen, it was great to see, and we'll move on from there straight to the Springboks Italy. It's the first test. The Italians have had a kind of resurgent couple of years. They've got a set center partnership that's actually starting to
mm,
make some waves. They've got some players who are of international quality now that we can say, look, these are great players. Are they going to have fun in Pretoria next on Saturday?
no. They're not going to have fun at all. I'm coming straight in. Yeah, no, it's going to be tough out there for the eye ties. The aren't they leaving a number of some of their best players behind anyway? They're doing a France and trying to build experience.
Okay. I
This is
wouldn't
what I
know, to be honest. I don't know the Italian team that well.
well, word on the street is they are leaving a couple of their more established players, let's say, and
Okay.
they're sending, I might be wrong, but this is what I heard a couple, maybe a month ago. They're sending out a slightly less experienced side. So, I mean, they're being clever in a way. They're building for 2027.
Yeah.
So they want to build some depth in numbers. But that's, I mean, yeah, you do, it comes to Africa, you should bring your best players. Same thing for France and New Zealand, but we don't talk about them. But bring your best players. However, it's going to be tough out there in Pretoria.
The Springboks with a point to prove, absolutely loving how they're playing at the moment, enjoying the kind of setup, the altitude, the absolute combative nature of what Loftus is going to be like on Saturday night. It's going to be tough out there for the
Yeah,
Italians,
it is.
but probably a little bit easy for the first official test cap as captain for Jesse Kriel. As we say, he did
Yeah.
well last week. Um, Look, it's smart from Rassie. He needs to shake things up a little bit. Unbelievably, Jesse Kriel, I think, is still 32 years old. So he's,
Wow.
in the grand scheme of things, he's a youngster in that squad. If we look at the other current captains who have captained
Mm,
Box, we've got Sia Khaleesi, of course, 34 years old. It's going to be 36 at the next World Cup.
yeah.
Real talk there. We've got Bongi Manambi. Obviously, Sia's had 49 caps at captain, so he's the most kind of experienced.
Yeah.
Bongi's had a couple of caps, is 35. Realistically, he's not going to be on the plane. 37 years old. I'm sorry. You can be. We did it last year, actually. We did it last
Yeah.
time, but
Dion
realistically,
Free.
are the chances of lightning striking twice? I don't know. Um, Peter Steph Toy, 32 years old. He's got one test cap as captain. So again, he's done that. He's actually technically got two, hasn't he? Because there was the two games
Mm,
against Wales, one's in America, one's
yeah.
in Twickenham. Thanks, ChatGPT. Yeah, but it's about 12. He's 32 years old. So again, he's going to be 35 in that roundabout of the World Cup. So bringing Jesse Creel, having another option for captaincy
Hmm.
smart. You've got Salman Murat, 27, had a couple of caps at captain, I think three so far.
Yeah.
Again, he's not nailed on as a starter. So it's a smart move for Jesse Creel. I love the way he plays. I love that he's the ultimate team man as well, and hopefully he
Yeah.
cracks on
You
to
noticed every captain apart from Jesse is a forward.
I know, and you know what? I don't love a back as a captain. Maybe I'm a nine, but the perfect captain is a back rower for me.
Good man.
That's just how I roll. But let's run through the Springbok team that is going to dismantle these Italians. They're going to make mom's spaghetti out of these Italians. Okay, um, and it's pretty scary to see.
Yeah.
Let's start with the front row, George. I think this might be the best front row in South Africa. Oxenshare, 39 caps. Malcolm Mark, 76 caps. And Wilco Low, 16 caps. The tree trunk himself.
He's a massive human being, but that is a big. I know we've just, I think last week spoke of a big front row with Asenati being there as well, but Volkolo's just got another
Yeah.
gear when it comes to scrummaging. The man is a two tree trunks. Anyway, what a front row. I feel I would hate to be an Italian front row.
You'd be shivering in your boots, especially if you're a bit of a younger one. We haven't seen the Italian team yet, but if you're a bit of a
Mm.
younger Italian team, you're going to get
Oh,
absolutely made into mincemeat. It doesn't get any better from there, George. In the
no.
box, we've got the one, the only Ibn Etzebeth, 131 caps. Can you believe it? And of course, Lotte Jager, who came back last week with an absolute smashing little bit. I'm actually wearing the tee today.
There it
The
is.
boys are getting back together. Maybe not Marvin Murray, but Wad is getting back together because we've got a couple of those boys on the bench as well. No Diago, unbelievably, I think he's only in his early 30s as well. So
Mm.
despite the way he looks with his big beard and everything, he's obviously been there, done that. Um, there's not much to say about those boys other than going to
No.
be absolutely cracking. So Marco van Staden, Vincent Sachuka, and Jasper Visser. So it's a brand new back row. I don't think
Yeah.
these guys, obviously Vincent's is test cap, he's uncapped.
Yeah.
Played last week, he got two tries, we've said. I think that's going to be a lovely little test match for him. He's going to make some barnstorming runs.
Yeah.
Marco van Staden, interesting one. He's probably not
Yeah.
proved himself enough yet.
No, I don't want to, I don't like talking badly of players, but so I'm not going to. But I think that I know we've spoken of this previously, like of aging players and stuff, but someone who I thought deserved a call up to the Bok team and who's played there before is Marcel Coetzee, and I would love to see him. But anyway, what are we going to see? Like we've said this before, what more are we going to see? Like what will it prove?
Yeah.
But he did play well on the weekend. Was the Barbars. He's up against the Italians. I think he'll be
He needs to
fronting up
stamp
against
his
the young.
authority, George. Let's be honest. We're
Yeah,
not talking
yeah,
bad about a player. I love the way he plays in URC. He,
yeah,
ESCOM for a reason. He's an unbelievably talented player. He was at the World Cup. He played multiple positions as well,
yeah.
which is fantastic. But 25 caps, it's now. I really want to see that ESCOM come to light in a Bok jersey. And who else better to do it against than the Itais?
Yeah,
Can we
and
say
he's up.
Itais? I've
I
got it
don't know
twice.
the Italians, but he's up against the South African Bishop's boy. I think. Well, I think it's either him or Vincent's fronting up against Vincent.
Negri.
Vincent. No, not Nick. Well, there's another one. The
Oh, there's the pizza delivery guy from
delivery guy.
Domino's.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's gonna
from
be awesome.
Bishop's.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
a couple of
and
South Africans
Negri's a
coming home.
yeah Negri's from Zim. He's a bit. He is a big human.
Knows his way
I
around
mean,
Cape Town.
yeah, he will, and he might not even be in the team because he's unfortunately for him, the way he plays does lead him to be
It's
injured a lot
so
because he's an
abrasive. Yeah,
absolute smash. Yeah.
yeah.
So he anyway, we digress. That and Jasper Visser
And
back in,
as we
baby.
said, yeah, again, he's someone who probably needed to prove a little bit. He was overshadowed by Dwayne Vermeulen for so long. He needed to find his niche in the Springbok camp. I think last year he did. I think
Mhm.
he brought a real element of kind of surprise and just abrasiveness to that, where maybe the other nations had written him off as maybe a little bit of a kind of average player. I think he's going to absolutely grow over the next
Yeah.
10 caps, and we're going to see a wonderful player. And I think he'll nail down this season
100%.
at
He's now also got a twin. He's got a twin in the team now with a
Mm.
the missing tooth. You see, Franco Mostert had his tooth knocked out against us. So
Nice.
now they're both going to roll in. Actually, no, Franco's wife made him fix it straight away. But
Well,
Um, lovely stuff. I'm happy to see him back. And ditto what you said. Let's go, Jasper.
let's go, Jasper. I cannot wait. And his brother was part of the training squad. Hopefully, he gets a
Yep.
little cap at some point as well. A huge
Yeah.
human being. Love to see it.
Yes.
Let's go on to the back line, George. We have got Morne van den Berg. Had a nice zippy outing against
Mhm.
the Barbars on the weekend. It's someone that look, they really want to grow here. We
Yeah.
know the number nines, we know the age of the number nines in South Africa, with Faf, with Querbus, still our number ones. With Jaden Henderson maybe
Grant.
slipping away, with Grant actually not even that young. He's still got a few years left in the
I think he's
tank,
about
but he's late.
29.
Yeah, I think he's late 20s. Morne van den Berg is for the Lions an unbelievable player. And it looked like we were adapting to kind of his game or allowing him to express himself against the Barbars.
Yeah, I thought he played well, and I think Rassies said it in the last few weeks. It reminds him a bit of Aaron Smith. I'd
That's a
like to
hell of a
see that.
compliment. That's a
That's
hell
a
of a compliment.
hell of a compliment. Probably the best, one of the best top three nines to ever play the game. Um, so obviously Rassie, I don't see Morne van den Berg every day. Rassie does, so they'll see it. But I would love to see him become Aaron Smith 2.0.
But
Mate.
he looked on it in the game.
Yeah,
Okay, the
yeah.
two caps he had before against Australia, it's away from home. It was
Mm.
his first
One
test
was
caps.
very wet.
Yeah, and they were fine. The
Yeah,
game against the Barbars, he felt in control. He looked like he was very comfortable actually, and I was quite
yeah.
happy with that.
Look good.
Then you back him up with Iceman, the general himself, Andre Pollard,
Andre
absolute
Pollard.
legend.
He is. I'll be honest. I was surprised to see Andre starting it, but this means we're making a statement. Well, I mean, when you look at the team, the whole team, you think, bloody hell, we're not effing around here.
Mm.
But Andre needs a bit of game time. Get used to being back at Loftus. He's a Bulls boy here again. So I'm glad to see him there. There's no. We'll get to the bench, but there's no fly half cover. But you know, Rassie's probably got Kwacha playing fly half
Yeah, but look,
for now.
but look, Rusty's actually said he's named all of his teams internally for the next 4 games. So he's
Yeah.
really mixing up who's so Stasha got his go against the Barbars, albeit not a test cap, but actually that doesn't really matter. Andre's getting his go. I'm sure Manu will probably get his go at some
Mhm.
point as well. But let's not get away from the fact that Andre Pollard is the Springbok number 10. Sasha
Yep.
Feinberg Mngomezulu is going to be the greatest player to play for South Africa He has that's his ceiling. His ceiling
Yeah,
is not like going to be one of the top guys, whatever. His ceiling is the greatest player South Africa ever produces.
yeah.
But there's no use in throwing away
Russian.
Andre Pollard,
No.
who is at the top of his game at the moment. He had an unbelievable season with the Leicester Tigers. Unfortunate there to lose in the final of the Prem,
Yeah.
but an unbelievable season. Sasha is the man in waiting. He's young. There's no problem. He's still
Mm.
learning from Andre Pollard.
He
They're going to
needs to.
switch back and forth. And over a long 15 match season, you need both of those guys sharing the load.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point, and that's why we've got longevity with the team. Just the one thing for Sasha, because as brilliant as he is, and he's young. What is he? 22.
Mm.
Just needs to settle a little bit and fewer mistakes, little mistakes. But he's I say that I can't go and play flower for the box.
It
But
is, but I kind
few-
of love it because when he makes mistakes, he kind of just flares his way out of it. And I don't
yeah,
want
when
him to
he
lose that either. I don't want that to be
no,
coached out of him. Um,
no.
and that's why, you go horses for courses and you go Andre in certain games and you go Sasha in certain games. And
And
that's
you bring
fantastic.
on then you bring on Mani who slots 5 conversions. Oh,
Oh, well, there we go. I think it was
Mani
four.
go kick
But
miss. And then he gets
and
it.
then he gets
Yes.
it. Love Marley. Sad he's leaving the Stormers, but we move on. Let's go to the centers quickly. Jesse Creel, obviously at captain 13, Damien at 12. Not much to say there. Best center partnership in world rugby.
In
Um,
the world.
Certainly at the moment and for the last couple of years. Um, but in the
That
back three, we've changed it up. I feel for Apalele Fase, as we've said, but clearly there's a process here to get
mhm.
Damian Willemse back in the mix. He's had a strong end to the season with the Stormers, albeit in a losing kind of effort. But he's getting back to his best. He's getting back to fitness. He starts for the first time since the World Cup final.
Yeah, 600 and something days he
Insane.
hasn't played for the Springboks.
Yeah,
Man.
which is mad. But he'll get his 40th cap. We're building a world-class player there. Unlucky
Yeah.
to lose 2 years of his career, but it's the way she goes. Cheslin Colby and Kirkley Arendse. Between that back three and replacing Apalele Fosse, um, that's the two best back threes in the world. I mean,
Yeah. Come at us if you Irish or New Zealandish.
I don't think the
That
Irish have got
that
much
is
to say
magic.
anymore, to be honest.
No,
But the
no.
Kiwis will have something to say. Um, Moving swiftly on, unless you have anything massive to add to that one.
No, I'm happy with what we said there.
This
What a
this is
starting
this is
15.
this is a starting 15 that you could easily play against Australia. You could probably play against Argentina, and with a couple of injuries, you wouldn't cry about playing against New Zealand. Let's be brutally honest.
No, yeah, 100%. Uh, you've hit the nail on the head.
Onto the replacements. Bongi at 16, 77 caps in. Not much to say about the uncle there, the
No.
champion there. Jan Henrik Wessels at 17. Love that he's getting another cap. He's add to his three. He's one of the superstars in the making. Of course, we
Yep.
know he can blend his roles, but I don't think Rassie really wants to if he doesn't have to. He wants to really lock down that position at prop, and he's a hell
Yeah.
of a player. Him linked with Vincent Koch. I love Vincent Koch. He's getting a bit long in the tooth now, but he's still playing elite rugby.
Yeah.
But I just wonder if maybe a younger player would benefit more for caps right now, knowing what we're going to be like in a few years at the World Cup.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. Ditto what you said about loving him. He's a double World Cup winner now, but I would love to see Thomas du Toit in the mix.
Yeah,
He's the best prop in Europe by a
hands
mile.
down. Yeah,
And he's a lovely human being. He's a
he's
big
such a
human
champ,
being.
dude.
And he covers both as well. He covers loose and tight. I know he originally was always a loose head, but he's a tight head nowadays.
And that having that flexibility is great in Rusty's plans. But
Yeah,
onto the locks on the bench. Woo! The
they're
band's
the
back
boys.
together. RG Snyman, Franco Mostert. We know that Mostert will probably come in at 7 or lock, depending on where we need it.
Yeah,
Again, Snyman is probably knocking on the door to the best lock in South Africa.
yeah. In the
Eben,
world.
in the world. Eben is clearly the best in South Africa, but the next best, very close, is becoming RG Snyman. And he's had this
Mhm.
lovely run of I'm not going to say it actually, of games without something touching the
Yeah.
wood, shaking the camera. And Franco Mossert's come back. You know what Sos is bringing. He's bringing the
Oh,
heat. It also, like, we are playing Italy. Does Sos need another cap? or does someone maybe younger? I don't know. I'm not. This is something to put out there in the multiverse.
No. Well,
But I
I,
love it.
no, I love it. I think they're doing it because I think he was out injured for a fair bit of
Yeah.
his time in Japan. I think he came back just at the end of the season, and they don't play a hell of a lot of rugby in Japan. So I suppose I see what Rassie's doing. Maybe next week he won't be there, but
I suspect they're going to run a fairly close to starting team
hmm,
or first squad um, this week. Absolutely smash the hell out of them, and then maybe mix
yeah,
it up for the second test and beat them pretty well then too.
yeah,
Um, Quagga Smith, of course, we know. I mean, you feel for him sometimes that he's not starting regularly, but he is the ultimate bench player. Not much to say about him other than he's going to be fantastic as always. Faf de Klerk back from a couple of well,
injuries.
season out really. Didn't
Yeah,
play last season, 58 caps. We know what he brings to the table. He's one of those guys that very rarely sees rust. He's
no,
been playing obviously in Japan. He's got his form back on. 58 caps. He's comfortable as hell. But the one person I just want to focus on before we wrap it all up and get our predictions in is Villy LaRue, 98 caps.
this.
Are we getting to 99 and then are we gonna make a little start?
Ooh,
Against Italy next week in South
then
Africa or against Georgia in South Africa. Get that hundreds out the way, and then maybe put
yeah,
him out to pasture. But hell of a season for the Bulls, and
yeah,
thoroughly deserves 100 caps. Anyone wants to come at us in the comments? You're an idiot.
fight you. I'll
Yeah,
fight you. No, and we're back. A couple of technical issues there. There's rain in Randburg, storm in Randburg. Um, but yeah, 99 caps, Willie Leroux, Kani Mwachni. I'm so glad to see him play there, and at Loftus, where he's his current home.
yeah.
Come on.
And it's gonna be free flowing. He's gonna come on. Hopefully, those legs get a couple of wild passes and tries and things like that. While we are well up in the game. So let's get down to our predictions, George. Last week you didn't get it quite right, as you've mentioned before. Are we going to say an actual score or box by?
I think we'll do box by because I mean, what do you? No, screw it. I'm gonna do an actual score.
Okay, do it.
If I
Lay it
get it,
on me.
I owe you a beer if I get it wrong, and
Bomb
you
squad
owe me.
lager.
Oh, there it is.
Plug.
Um, so I'm gonna say box 72
Okay.
and the Italians 21.
Wow. It's a big score. It's a big score difference. I'm going to say box 75.
Oh,
Italy 10.
oh, damn.
I think they're going to get a garbage time try, and that's about it. I think the Bucks going to run rampant, and I think they plan on running rampant. I think they want to have statement after statement here. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. It's been awesome to come back. We're so excited. We've got a lot of things lined up for the next box season. One
Ooh.
of the things that actually, George, we've got lined up for our UK listeners, we've got a little watch party going on in Elephant Castle, Metropolitano Mercato, something like that. It'll be in the details. It's called the Boma. Check us out on Instagram. It's a Springbok watch party. It's the boys from Bomb Squad are bringing it in. They're going to have Bomb Squad lager, going to have screens everywhere. You're going to have Braais from the Braai Club. You're going to have, I think, Savannah Store's going to be there with all your South African treats. It's going to be an absolute vibe, and we're going to be able to express ourselves as pure South African gees monsters.
That's it. Bokke, Boma, Brannes, Bomb Squad.
Oh, and it's going to start on the 12th of July. So not this weekend, next weekend. If anyone wants to get in touch in the comments to get some details on how to get tickets, or else go to bomauk.co.uk and you can get your tickets there. They're £10 a pop, but you're going to have absolutely incredible time. Believe me, we're going to be there. We're going to be running some games as well and doing some kind of interviews and post-match jolling. So, guys, if you haven't yet subscribed, liked, what have you, you're probably not going to, but it'd be nice if you did. Catch you later, George. See you
See you
next
soon,
time.
baby.
Bye.